ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ। ਨਾਰਾਇਣ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ, ਦਸਾਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ, ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਗੋਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਜੀ ਹੋਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਪਿਆਰੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਵਾਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ। Let us all focus our dhyan on Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and not be distracted by anything or anyone. If we can condition our mind today to imagine that Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj is sitting exactly where Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj is, there is no lie in that. That is the ultimate truth. If we can, while focusing our mind on that, say Gur Fateh to Satguru Sahib Ji Maharaj. May Maharaj bless us with their assisa, so that Amrit, power Itihas that we're going to listen to may find place in our hearts. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Guru Roop, Guru Pyari Sadh Sangat Ji, last week we heard how the Pahadi Raje, the hill kings, the hill chiefs, along with their forces and enlisting the help of the Mughal forces and some mercenaries, have surrounded Anandpur Sahib Ji. And even though they thought it would be an easy attack with so much, a great number, when they surrounded Sri Anandpur Sahib Ji, laid siege to it, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, the master of all battle and wit, knew their strategy was going to be to pound Sri Anandpur Sahib Ji from afar, whilst getting closer and closer and closer, and then eventually taking over. So Guru Pacha, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, with their two cannons, Bij Kork, the Bagan, Maharaj is pounding their positions and causing them not only to stop where they are, but to start to retreat. That's where we had got to last week. So Gurmukha, whatever they are trying, whatever the hill Rajas are trying, whatever strategies their army generals are coming up with, none of them are coming to any fruition. They're all going useless. Every time they attack, the Singhs in their positions where they've entrenched themselves come out and smash their teeth, bloody their teeth every single time. They try this way, they try that way, but at no point are they getting any success. Where I'll pick up from is where we're finding no other way. What they do is they get a drunken elephant who's been trained to smash down doors of a fort. You can train animals to do all sorts, like we have drug dogs and whatnot. This elephant has been trained, it's a male elephant, to smash down the doors of the fort. And the Sangat are still coming back and forth, even though they've laid siege. They haven't stopped people coming, even though they would get checked and questioned as to where they're going, coming back and forth. The Sikh Sangat, they've heard that the Mughals are preparing an elephant. He'll be given alcohol and then sent on his way. And as the Sikh Sangat bring this report to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, ਏਦਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ, ਏਦਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ. And ਧੰਨ Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj, Maharaj says, if the Mughal hill chiefs are going to bring the elephant, ਆਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਹਾਥੀ. They pointed towards Duni Chand. Duni Chand was about 7 foot tall. He was very well built and very well powerful. When the going is good, it's all Guru, Guru, Guru. But should Guru visit upon us a test, maaf karna, on about yourselves, Gurmukho. Someone like me would run. So while the going was good, Duni Chand looked very nice in the Sangat. But when Guru Sahib Ji said, ah dekho sada hathi, ये टक्कर करेगा मुगलों के हाथी के नाल, दुनी चंद अंदरों डर गया. कबीर कसौटी राम की, झूठा टिके न कोय, राम कसौटी सो सह, जो मर जीवा होए. Bhai Kabir Ji says, when God, kasauti is a testing stone. So if we just refer to it as a test here. Bhai Kabir Ji says, when God brings a test upon people, Kabir kasauti Ram ki, Ram meaning Kalpur Bhai Guru. Kabir kasauti Ram ki, he said, jhootha tike na koi. Like Das did the benti, someone like me, Guru Guru to karta hoga, ithe beh ke bhi Guru Guru karta hoga. Par pata udo lagna, jadon sir te aa gayi. Will I be one of those who runs off without even collecting my shoes? Or would I be one of those that's going to stand here and fight? So Kabir kasauti Ram ki, jhootha tike na koi. Kabir Ji says, the false one will never prove true on them. Ram kasauti so sah. Kabir Ji says the kasvati of Ram, only that person can prove to be true on them. Jo mar jiva hoye, the one who whilst alive has become dead. Just very briefly, the one who has died is truly alive. The one who's merely existing like me, he's neither dead nor alive. What Kabir Ji is saying, that person who's come alive in the Brahm Gyan Atmik Avastha, where supne sutya pya, they are fully alert, fully conscious. That's who the Marjiva Kabir Ji speaks about. Moving on quickly because it's a very long prasang and we're already 10 minutes in. So Duni Chand Ji flees that night. The very next day, when the Sikhs come back and they say, Maharaj, tera hathi to kand lap ke nat gaya, he's gone. Maharaj kehndे कोई बात नहीं, सानू पहले ही पता सी. Maharaj said, साडे घर दा बब्बर शेर Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji. Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji was only a short person. Benti is like this, Gurmukho. A basketball is quite big. A grenade is very small. A basketball may fill the arena, but it's the grenade that empties it. So Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji is small, but what resides within him is a powerhouse even more powerful than the very sun itself. So Maharaj said, Sade Ghar da Babbar Sher, the lion of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's house shall fight off that elephant when he comes. And now there's only a minute I'm going to spend on this. Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji does something at that time that I can learn from. If you can, learn also. Bhai Bachittar Singh Ji is that Brahm Gyani Mahapurukh. Now even though some people very recently have heard saying that Brahm Gyan is only to have knowledge of God. No, I can have knowledge of Mount Everest. But I haven't climbed Mount Everest. Brahm Gyan is something totally different to just having knowledge. Brahm Gyan means when the Antar goes one with the Nirantar. That's Brahm Gyan. That Brahm Gyani Mahapurukh, Baba Bachittar Singh Ji, when he stands up, even though he knows how to kill an elephant, he knows. Sometimes you got to be very careful what you say on stage. गुरमुख अवस्था ऐसी है, नानक दास मुक्ते जो बोले ऊहा ऊहा सच होवे। अवस्था ऐसी है, बचन नाल मार सकते हाथी नूं। नानक दास मुक्ते जो बोले, वेरी सिंपल पंजाबी, नानक दास मुक्ते जो बोले ऊहा ऊहा सच होवे। महाराज दे दासां दे विच ऐसी शक्ति भर दिंदे, भाई बचित्र सिंह जी could kill that elephant with one button, with one look. But what Bhai Bachitra Singh Ji does, he stands up. He said, Maharaj, you've made my duty to fight the elephant. But tell me how. What do we learn from that? Whatever we do in our lives from birth until the very last breath, seek Guru's guidance in it and learn from Guru how to do it. That is how we progress. Otherwise we're stuck where we are, even though we may think we are progressing. Bhai Bachitra Singh said, Maharaj, tusi duty meri laati, at least tell me now how to kill this elephant. Maharaj says, bring your horse to a steady gallop. When you get near and you know you are out of range of his son, there tied a sword to the end of his trunk. Maharaj has caused the horse to go on his back legs. With the potential weight of you and the horse, thrust the nagli straight through his forehead, on the tava he was wearing on his forehead. So the Mughals, they send this elephant very quickly. Bhai Bachitra Singh Ji does away with this elephant as we do with cats. Not that we do that with cats, but when a cat sees it, runs. The elephant went back and caused more damage. They were having no luck in subduing Maharaj, in coming to conquer Maharaj, in beating Maharaj. And the days turned to weeks, and the weeks turned to months, and the months turned to this time in winter. And if you look outside, there's barely one leaf on any tree outside. This was the heart of Sri Anandpur Sahib. There was no food there. The Gursikhs, they keep going to Mataji and to Mata Gurjr Kaur Ji. Mata da ronde hai, kehinde maa vi sanu bhukh lagi hai, we're dying of hunger. Ma, this is your son. They even went as far as saying, Mata, tera putter matwara ho gaya. Matwara means he's lost all his senses. They said to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj as well. Maharaj went and sat in. Koi aake putna, koi batala. So they say, Mata bhi tera puttar matwara ho gaya. He's now starving us. Now Mataji went to speak to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, because Mataji's hirda is so komal. Gurmukha, anyone that does bhakti, when your heart starts to clear up, you see no enmity and you see everyone as your own. Mata Gurjr Kaur Ji, whose seva is unspeakable, Mataji's hirda is so komal. She sees them as her own children, no differentiation whatsoever. We sada Sahibzade Guru Gobind Singh they alag hai nahi, sare puttar hai. After listening to their pleas and their cries, even though Mataji is not one who will go and instruct Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, because regardless of the worldly rishta of mother and son, there's much more past there and much more past that. She is a pact from a previous life. He is the supreme being. And not only that, he is the Satguru of the Sikh Sangha. So Mataji wants to go to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but at the same time she doesn't want to. And what overwhelms her is the children again and again crying, her children, and saying, Mataji si bhukhe mar rahe hain. When Mataji goes to see Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, Gurmukh, there's one point I want to point out here. It wasn't everyone in Anandpur Sahib. There are those Naam Rasiya Gursikhs there that who get everything from their Naam. There are those Japi Tapi Sikhs there that know whatever is happening under Pana and live under Pana. Their bodies are shriveling away, but they're not complaining, they're accepting everything as it happens. And then there are those that went crying to Mataji. It's with them that Mataji went to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. And Mataji says to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, she goes, Puttar, these are your children as well. You are their Guru, they're starving away. And why don't you give them any food? Maharaj said there is no food left. Mataji says there's untold tan. Tan means wealth. The Gursikhs are coming and going back and forth. They can go and purchase tan, food. Bring it here and let them eat this. And Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj teaches us one thing at that time. Maharaj said, Jada puja da dhanya hai na, Mataji, if my Sikh Sangat, they eat it. Maharaj said that their jivans will become corrupt. They will no longer have that power left in them that they need in them in order to carry on with the panth that we have made, the Khalsa. Jada Mataji nahi hati, then Maharaj says, we Mata, I am your son, would you willingly feed me poison? Mataji said no. So Guru Padshah said, then I cannot feed them anything either. So Mataji doesn't know what to say. In Anandpur Sahib, where they are starving, those Niji Brahmgyani Mahapurushs with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, they've never complained once. Like Dastik Benti, or Naam Rasiya, Gurmukh, even though we may not have experienced something, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Guru Padshah Ji Maharaj in Tuet Prasad Savaiye, Maharaj says, Paun Ahar, Jati Jatatar. Guruji refers to those munis whose avastha had reached so much, whatever nutrition they needed, they got from air. Paun Ahar, Jati Jatatar. So these Sikhs that are near to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, they're not complaining. The ones that are in Jap Tap, they're not complaining either. Even though they're not getting what they need, their bodies are drying up, but they're accepting Guru Sahib Ji's pana. But the ones that are complaining, their heart is really bad, which is clawing away at Mataji's hirda. This is the heart in Anandpur Sahib. On the other side, should I say, of the battle, with the Pahadi Raje and the Mughals, they've got another problem. Again to do with food. Here there's the lack of it, there is the cost of it. The Pahadi Raja, they've enlisted the help from Mughal generals and mercenaries. Now it's not an easy feat to feed so many people. There was approximately 4 lakh there at that time, before the other 10 lakh were sent from Delhi. To feed 400,000 people, it costs a lot of money. Their khazane were running dry. As their khazane were running dry, what the hill chiefs done, they decided to send a letter. In Rajniti, there's ways to subdue your enemy. One is done, straight up beating. The other is paid, learn what they like, get to know them, and cause trouble when you get inside with them. So what they've done now, they've hatched a plan. They will send their Wazir, Pamma his name is, he was Bhim Chand's Prohit, and he was his lawyer. They will send him to go and speak to Mataji and the Sikh Sangat and Guru Sahib Ji, but to speak to Guru Sahib Ji in front of the Sikh Sangat. So once they've heard what Guru Sahib, what Prohit, what Pamma Vakil's got to say, they'll put pressure on Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Pressure to do what? To leave Anandpur Sahib Ji so that they can attack them. That's their plan. But they dress it up in a totally different way. So they send Pamma. Pamma arrives in Maharaj's Darbar. He meets Guru Parvar. He meets the Sikh Sangta. He comes before Guru Sahib Ji and says, Maharaj, what I'm about to disclose to you, nobody else knows on the other side. He said, but the Pahadi Raja are desperate. He's trying to mitigate for them, but in a very deceitful way. He does it in such a way, he wins the support of the Sikh Sangat. He goes, Maharaj, the Pahadi Raja, meaning his own king and the other kings, they are so desperate at this moment because they're running out of funds that they don't know if they can hold this battle line for much longer. And Maharaj, Kirpa Karo, let them save their face amongst their own people. How? Will Maharaj, you leave Anandpur Sahib, we'll give you access to go. We'll give you safe passage. After some time, our people will have learnt that we defeated you in a sense, or even a truce, if anything, that you lot left Anandpur Sahib, real safe face, and then you can come and return and start living, and everything will be hunky-dory. Now when the Sikh Sangat hears this, they're thinking, what a sensible proposition. That Maharaj goes just to save their face, so there is no defeat in it for us. The defeat is still theirs, even though if it's unknown to their people. So Maharaj goes and comes back after a bit of time. But the actual plan wasn't that. The actual plan was if they fall for this and they leave, will attack them as soon as they're far away from Anandpur Sahib, so they can't run back, and we'll kill a lot of them once and all. The solution, problem solved. So when they come here and they start to mitigate this in front of Maharaj, Maharaj listens to them and Maharaj says, I have no faith in what you're saying whatsoever. And this is not what the Sikh Sangat wanted to hear. Maharaj says, I've got no faith in you whatsoever. Tusi jhoote hain, go away, we have nothing to do with you. They said, Maharaj si chithi leke aaye hain Aurangzeb to. So Aurangzeb is a ruler of the land at that time. We call him a tyrant, which he was, no doubt. But being an emperor, he carries some weight amongst the common man. They all look up to him. It's like the Queen here, when she says something, everyone starts jumping up and down about it. So he carries some weight. Now when Ummah is saying, we've got a letter from Aurangzeb that you will be given safe passage, then come back whenever your heart wishes. The Sikh Sangat hear this and they're thinking, what a good idea, but Maharaj is saying we have no faith in you whatsoever, because Maharaj knows the andar te dil di gal. Guru Pad says, he says, Wazir, since you're so good at reading letters and writing letters, write a letter back to Aurangzeb. List down all the Bhagats he's killed at that time, list down all the Sadhu Mahatmas he's killed at that time. Tell him he's a butcher, tell him he's a liar. And tell him we have no faith whatsoever in his words. And hearing this, it didn't proceed any further than that. They returned to where to where their positions were. Once they returned, they've told the hill Raja that this has gone on. Over this side, the Sangat is growing more and more and more desperate for this whole thing to end. Gurmukhi, you know what the weather's like outside. Das has already done the benti, there was no food whatsoever. It got to the stage where the Singhs were taking bark of trees, boiling it and eating that. Some people say, but bakre chatka aise, kode chatka aise, the kode and the bakre didn't even survive until then. Who was going to kill them? So they start boiling it. Maharaj says, Hatjo, Hatjo. Anyway, in the back and forth of this fakir going back, he's put so much pressure without even saying anything to the Sangat directly, just by presenting himself the way he does, that they started saying, Maharaj, sanu jalendo, either let us go or let us do battle with them and die. Because death will only come once, but it comes 4 times a day, we can't take this anymore. Let us go. So Guru Maharaj is telling them that we've got no faith in them, but just like me, just like everyone else, when Guru says something, we tend to challenge it according to our intellect. And that's what they're saying. They say, Maharaj, par unhone ek kya, phana kya, jai kya. Guru Maharaj says, Adha karo, Vajiro, pamme, go and get 1100 carts. Go and get 1100 carts, so we can prepare our stuff. Soon as Maharaj says that, Maharaj the Khazanchi Singh Joshi, he was by Maharaj. Khazanchi means treasurer, the head of the treasury. When he called him, Maharaj just whispered in his ear, we sing, Jinne vi mare dangaryana, all the dead bodies of the animals, shoes, old kapde, gande kapde, jinna vi kooda aaya, sara tayar kar liyo. When the carts come, load them up onto the carts and then go into our mail and get keen kaap ka kapda. Keen kaap it's like silk. The vertical and horizontal lines, amongst them you find gold threaded as well. So it was Shahi kapda that was given to Guru Maharaj, gifted to Guru Maharaj by the Sikh Sangha. Maharaj says, once you got all that gandagi and loaded it on the 1100 carts, put this kapda over it so it looks like very expensive stuff that we're leaving here with. Maharaj had to show the Sangat just how deceitful these people are. So Gurmukh, moving on quickly, when they came with the 1100 carts and also 1100 cartsmen, Maharaj asked them to wait there, got their 6 servants to load all the gandagi of Anandpur Sahib on. They were having a spring clean. They got to load everything onto those carts, and Maharaj ishara karta. Maharaj said, well, our treasure will leave first, then we'll leave. And as they're leaving, they left at night time. The Pahari Raja in the olden days also, maybe even today, what they do is they get these lights. They're of fire, They're made on a metal kind of spike they put over the horns, and they light them to light the way, a bit like primitive headlights, if I can call them, for cattle. So they had that on each and every single dangar, so they could see where every dangar was going. It was a clever trick that they used. So as they are leaving, soon as the cattle got far away from Anandpur Sahib, enough for them not to return back, the hill Rajas and the Mughal Fauja, they attacked. In their minds they were thinking there's going to be treasure on these carts. When they attacked, what happened? Nira hoya, the lights start going out. They can't tell what's going on. They start fighting amongst each other. By the morning, once they finish fighting and killing each other, they realize what they've gone and done is they've just exposed their position. That there was no Maya, there was no treasure. When this happens, Pamma again comes to Guru Ki Sangat. And then he says to Maharaj, he goes, Maharaj, this is how they cover it up. They want Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji out of Anandpur Sahib at any cost, and doesn't matter how many times they have to keep on doing it, they will do what they need to do to get Guru out of there. So this time what they do is they return. Pamma along with other vakils. And they say, Maharaj, what had happened is when you were leaving, we had some rogue mercenaries. It was them who attacked your caravan. And when they attacked your caravan, obviously the Pahadi Raja and the Mughal generals have heard, and we're going to sentence them to death basically for having done that. It wasn't us, please trust us and leave. Maharaj laughed at them. Maharaj says, well look, thade more karke dikhata, thada koi deen maan hai nahi, you got nothing, we can't trust you. So what they do is they return a few days later with a signed letter from Aurangzeb, a Quran, again signed by the Mughal Faujdars, their generals. And Pamma returns with an aate wali gaan, a cow made of dough. Meaning, because for them the cow is holy. So he bought that as a representation. The Mughal forces bought the Quran as to represent exactly what they mean, and that this time they'll live by it, and they make sure no mercenaries or anyone other than those that are in in both the Pahadi Raja Fauj and the Mughal forces, other than them nobody else will come out to meet them. Maharaj says, we've got no faith in you whatsoever. Maharaj says, we will not do anything, we will not move. But again the Sikh Sangat, Gurmukh benti hai, those sadhu mahatmas that were close to Guru Sahib Ji, they remained quiet, they never said a single thing. The Matawa never said a single thing except for Mata Gurjr Kaur Ji, to whom now the Sikh Sangat were crying. Whenever someone dies, they take the baby to Mata Ji, Mata bacha mar gaya, look our kids are dying. Mata Ji comes to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, and Mata Ji then says to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, say, Puttar, why are you doing this to them? You created them. Now why are you doing this to them? Maharaj says that I haven't got time to go into this, Gurmukh. Whatever Maharaj done, there is great deep meaning behind it. If Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj Shaheedina dinde, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji Shaheedina dinde, Gur Sikha ne kade Shaheedi nahi deni si. Inhone muh chake Guru aur dekhega, nasib meri aankhein se aata kar. Maharaj taught us how to stand on our own 2 feet. When Maharaj is in Anandpur Sahib, Maharaj says, whatever happens, don't give your position up. Whatever happens, Sikhi nahi haarni. But Sikh Sangta nahi hatdiyan. Now when the Sikh Sangta are crying before Maharaj, the Aldu Satguru Ji sees them crying. Maharaj says, 40 din thehar jo Khalsa Ji, just 40 days. 40 din thehar jo, and I will give you the Raj. The Raj karega Khalsa that we speak. Maharaj says, I will personally, that Raj is in Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji's hand. The day they wish, they will give it. But they're going to give it to Khalsa. What is a Khalsa? Who lives tan, man, tan, sab saump Gur ko. Hukam manneya paiye, who have given everything to Guru Sahib Ji. Like those 40 Sikhs that are with Guru Pacha. Oni bole. Jare Sidki Japi Tapi Sikh sage, even in the Fauj, वो भी नहीं कुछ बोले. But ज़्यादा करके जी Sikh Sangat, when they started to say, Maharaj, let us go. Maharaj says 40 दिन ठहर जो. They never accepted 40 days. Maharaj says 32 दिन ठहर जो, 32 days, just 1 month. They never agreed. Maharaj says 18 दिन ठहर जो. They still never agreed. महाराज कहते 7 दिन ठहर जाओ खालसा 7 दिन ठहर जाओ जिहड़ी तुहाडी कमाई है ना from what you're doing it's gonna give you great reward the way they stayed hungry Gurmukh this is the sidq that Bhai Taru Singh ji learned and the Gursikhs at that time when jadon Hinduan diyan kudiyan the Afghanis were taking the Iranians were taking the Gursikhs were, the Prasangis, they were about to eat the prashada. They had been hungry for many weeks. They had come to Bhai Taru Singh ji. Prashada shakhan lage when the news came that they're close by. Those that come to take the Kuriya and they've got them trapped. Othe prashade di burki shad diti. Even though they were hungry, they said we will not eat until Janachar Morcha Fateh nahi kita. This is all of Guru Sahib is doing. This is what the Sikh Sangha have learned from that doing. Maharaj says, Thehar jo, what you're doing, Gurmukh, there's a big difference in your khoon and the khoon of others. Jo tusi a tap kar rahe hai na hun. Maharaj says, ede pratap karke khalsa sukh pavega. But they said, no, Maharaj, we're going to go. Gurmukh, when Guru says and we don't listen, Guru doesn't lose out on anything, we lose out. They never listen. Guru Padshah said for 7 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ active ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਉਂਦਾ ਰਹੇਗਾ including the 40 with him with Maharaj said they will give their lives but in a glorious way they will give their lives and their names will shine like the stars in the sky forever in the battle of Char it is their blood that has given life to this Khalsa Panth Maharaj said if 7 ਦਿਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਠਹਿਰਦੇ then nobody will stay Maharaj says, Karlo Tiyari, then we go. Gurmukh, even though we hear, there's one point I quickly want to brush up on before we leave. Even though we hear that the Badawa was written by Bhai Mahasingh and it was given in Anandpur Sahib, even the film that you've watched, Char Sahibzade, even in there they portray it as such, that's not what happened. No one left Anandpur Sahib without Guru's hukam. Maharaj left with them because they weren't listening. So Maharaj said, chalo, jo tha ichha kar wo, then we'll see what happened. But Maharaj said, nuksan bahut hai, nobody will stay alive. Nobody left without Maharaj's hukam. The Badawa that was written, when Maharaj left Anandpur Sahib, Sarsa par karke, as Maharaj went into the Malwa region, there's a pen called Ramayana. There's a Gurdwara called Badawa Sahib. What happened is those people that were on the outside of a Sikhis group, but inside they were like this with the Hukumat, a lot like we have happened these days. Some MP comes to the Gurdwara, he doesn't even wash his hands and he starts going and rolling out rotiyan. He comes up here and they're all nattering away. Maharaj says, Har jas karte baat chalave kahat Gobind Singh Jampur jave. They put on a Kirtan show to show them, look how good si saad ke nivadi abdalan ne. And as he's walking in, everyone's talking over the Hari Jas. So those kind of Sikhs that were on the outside of his Sikhs, they're very close with the Hukumat. They got close, they got together, the Sarpanch and the all other representatives, they got together. What they did, they found out that Maharaj lage aaye hoya, where Ramayana is. They came to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, look, we're Sikhs. So it's got to the stage where they're even questioning Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji internally. We are a Guru vi on. The way we say Sikh hai. We say to you to make some jota with the Mughals. Maharaj said, ਜਿਹੜੇ Sikh ਹੁੰਦੇ Guru ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਉਹ Guru ਦੀ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ. We listen to Guru. We don't give Guru advice. They said, Maharaj, well, if you're not going to do that, then asi tere Sikh nahi. That's where the Badawa came from. It wasn't Bhai Mahasingh. Bhai Mahasingh has been badly misrepresented by our Itihaaskars. Bhai Mahasingh, whose dad was very close with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji and Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib ji, all the way back to Guru Har Gobind Sahib ji, his family were in Guru Seva. When they said, Maharaj kende, but if you're not our Sikh, sanu thade varge Sikh chahide bhi nahi. Maharaj kende, sanu udan de Sikh chahide, we need those Sikhs that listen to us, not try to advise us, because if they advise us, wo Sikh nahi for Guru. We don't need you. They said, then Maharaj said, but if you want to go, write it down on a piece of paper, so you don't deny it in the future. So what they done, Gurmukh, they wrote it down on a piece of paper. That was the Badawa. And Bhai Maha Singh interjected at that time. He said, Maharaj, ab badawa saam ke rakhiyo. I'm from Malwa. These represent the Malwai Sikh, but they are not the Malwai Sikhs. Just like we said, a representation, we may have a representative in government, like the two main people from Slough here, but they do not represent every single view of every single Sikh. Who is a Sikh? That's what we've got to question. So Bhai Maha Singh said that these representatives have made a really bad mistake. He tried to convince them. He said, stop it, stop it, stop it. By that time, Maharaj had moved on. When they never listened to him, then Bhai Maha Singh drew a line on the floor, saying, who's with me and who's with them? 40 Sikhs went with Bhai Maha Singh. By the time Bhai Maha Singh tracked down Guru Gobind Singh Sahibji, it is where Muktsar is now, Khidrane di Tab. By the time he tracked down Guru Patshaji Maharaj was there, but at the same time they heard that the Mughal forces in pursuit of Guru Sahib are closing in. All 40 of them gave their lives at that battle. And when Bhai Maha Singh Ji, now a lot of Itihaskas won't share this on stage. There's seen and unseen. In the unseen world, when Bhai Maha Singh Ji left their body, they went to Sachkhand. By which time Baba Jeet Singh Ji shaheed ho chukke se. Baba Jeet Singh Ji sent back Bhai Maha Singh, said, no, tum Malwai hai. You was part of that Sikh Sangat that said, Asi tere Sikh nahi. So therefore, you're not going into Sachkhand. Ja wapas. Jo galti kiti, jo tusi tod ke gand ke aao. Bhai Maha Singh entered his body again, and the only thing he asked for, when Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji said, jo marji mangla, chahe tenu tinna lokan da raaj de danne hai, what do you want? He said, Maharaj, I have no other wish other than the badawa. Rip it up. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj said, Bhai Maha Singh, aa dekho, na Ananda di puri rahi, na baaj reha, na takht, kuch nahi reha. Mere char Sahibzade bhi nahi rahe. Mata bhi nahi rahi. Jana nalo pyare Singh bhi rahe. What makes you think that I've got your badawa? And Bhai Maha Singh said that jo marji ho jaye Sache Paatshah, jo marji ho jaye, we may have broken our nata with you, but you will not have abandoned that one piece of paper, that one hope that will join us back with you again. That's when Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj smiled, took out the badawa and said, Bhai Maha Singh, tere kahe pardon hai, and ripped it up. So that's wanting to just clear up that point there, that it was not given up. Sri Anandpur Sahib, the pind is Ramayana, go there, you see the Gurdwara there, Badawa Sahib, go and speak to people. Unless you're on the ground and you speak to people, then what we end up doing is we hear from people who knowingly, maybe unknowingly, misrepresent certain things. So Guru Patshaji, having listened to the Sikh Sangat, they leave Sri Anandpur Sahib. Next week, by Amarjeet Singh Ji Mani, he will pick up from when Maharaj stops at Sarsa Nadi, does Sri Asadi Varda Kirtan, while Bhai Uday Singh holds back the forces of the Mughals. Bhai Amarjeet Singh Ji will pick up from there. Gurmukh Maafi, a big thank you to the Gurmukh Pyare who never ever complain when we do go over time. A big thanks to Tan Satguru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Sache Paatshah. A big thanks to you, Guru Pyari Saad Singat Ji. And any Pulna Chukka Das is made whilst sharing with you this Sakhi of Sri Anandpur Sahib. Please forgive and please teach also. And so Bhai Amarjeet Singh Ji will pick up from here next week. And until then, let's all say good fateh to Guru Sahib Ji and get Maharaj's blessings. And to Sivisi Sadhavaji Sangat Ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.